Our 21-day trip from Ohio to Yellowstone through Utah, Las Vegas, LA, the Grand Canyon, Denver, and back home again started from Ohio through Indiana, through Chicago at night, and then we crossed the mighty Mississippi River. Our plan was to check out some of the sights from the Little House on the Prairie TV show on our way, which took us into Minnesota and then back into Wisconsin, and it's going to lead us to the trail of the Laura Ingalls Wilder sites. We figured, why not? We stopped at Wabasha and had a chance to stretch our legs. The kids got a chance to run, see some of the interesting sights, and we had a great time just kind of enjoying the start of a trip, something that was going to be big. We knew we were going to be in the van for a long, long time. We know we were going to be traveling all over the place through the western part of the United States, and it was a great way to start off, but you got to stretch your legs, you got to get ready, and we were wanting to get going and get started. Our first major Little House on the Prairie stop was Pepin, Wisconsin, Laura Ingalls Wilder's birthplace. This is where Little House in the Big Woods takes place, and though the big woods of Laura's childhood have changed over the years quite a bit, you can still visit the Little House Wayside. It's a simple log cabin replica built near the site of the original home. While the real cabin is long gone, it's amazing to stand in the place where Laura's story began. Next, we went through Mankato, Minnesota, which is mentioned prominently in the Little House on the Prairie TV show as the big city that the characters would go and visit. Sleepy Eye was another town that was in the show. For Mankato and Sleepy Eye, the actual real-life characters never really spent much time there, but Walnut Grove, now that's the place. It's the home of the Laura Ingalls Wilder Museum. The show wasn't filmed there, but Walnut Grove is a cool place. It's special because the TV show was based there. You can go visit the museum, of course, and also the dugout home. And you can wade in Plum Creek, just like Laura would have done, and it was something iconic in the TV shows. Laura described this place in her book On the Banks of Plum Creek, and you can really imagine what it would have been like for her as a child to live in this open area, to run down the hill. So of course we recreated that with the kids wanting to run down the hill to stretch their legs before hopping into the big blue van and heading out to the next location where we were going to go. We continued to head west, and we went to the Ingalls Homestead near Arlington, South Dakota. We heard it was a cool place to check out, but it was already closed, so we hopped back in the big blue van and headed to Smet, South Dakota. Smet is the final resting place of Charles, Caroline, Mary, Carrie, and Grace Ingalls. It's where they're buried. Now, of course, the journey could continue down into Missouri, where Laura ended up later on, but this is where our trip ended. There's a cool barn there, and also a house that looked almost exactly like the one in the TV show, but of course, the real Ingalls house looked different, but it's still cool to kind of wrap up the trip with something like this. From there, it was on to Yellowstone and parts west. Join us for more adventures on this channel.